Hello, my beautiful Cancers. Welcome back to Queen Cup Tarot. I am just shuffling up right now. Well, I was. Now I'm just putting a little bit more frankincense on the burn for you. But just get ready to do your August 2019 tarot readings. I hope you guys are all well. I love you. Cancer gang gang. For those that are new, welcome. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe. It's greatly appreciated. And for those that are returning, thank you for all your likes, shares, subscribes, for positively engaging the channel the way you do. At least most of you do. Like I tell you guys all the time, I mean it. I don't care how cheesy it is. It's an absolute privilege and honor to read for every single one of you. Okay? So yeah, if you do want to book a personal reading with me, that's fine. All those details are below. Just keep in mind that I do not do pre-recorded. They're all live. Okay, booked via Skype, WhatsApp, or just regular phone if you don't want to do face-to-face, okay? But they are live regardless if it's face-to-face or not. For those that timestamp the reading prior to the prayer, thank you. I appreciate you guys. Please continue to do so prior to the prayer. And for those that are new, I don't mind timestamping, but I just do not want anyone to acknowledge these messages without the prayer. Okay, so just make sure you include it. The prayer is not long, okay? And yeah, I am going to shout out a couple of decks that I'm using for this month. I'm using the new Eugene Vininsky Money Tarot deck. You guys know him. I shout him out quite a bit. I love his Kabbalah and his Venetian Tarot, which I've used for your monthlies before. This tarot deck, though, is inspired by banknotes from around the world. And I say that, and the Ten of Pentacles comes out. Which is cool because he's European, right? So when I first saw the deck and I saw the images, I assumed that they would have all been like European, but no, they're from literally around the world, which is really cool. I've gotten a lot of downloads, synchronicities. There's lots of numbers, some even names, countries, things on them, so it's cool. Brings a little extra dimension to the readings because you guys know I'm very general. I don't go into specifics like that, but when you see it dead on the card, it's hard to avoid, right? So anyways, we'll use this for your 9-card spread. All of them will be upright, but we will use reversals and uprights for your clarifier. And that we are going to use the Infinitum tarot deck, which is going to be a little harder to find. So there is a link below for her tarot. For Eugene, you can get him on eBay or Etsy pretty easy, but with Nevena, I don't know if it's so easy to find her. Dedicated to those who strive for more, who seek to understand themselves and what surrounds them. It's her little deck that she created. It only includes the major arcana, as well as I think maybe 12 or 15 other oracle cards she's mixed in with it. So we're going to use that to clarify your spread. The Romance Angels by Doreen Virtue, The Usual Suspects, and then this brand new deck here, which is absolutely archaic. I don't even know if I say that right. Old as fuck. It vibrates very ancient, like old energy. It's like, you know, like how it would be probably touching an artifact or some shit. Anyway, we'll use that to wrap up your spread, all right, guys? I do smoke pot. It's not the nature of this, okay? I don't smoke them on every video, but I don't care less if I do smoke on it. It really isn't the nature of this, so feel free to smoke with me if not to worry. This is all about your monthly tarot spread, okay? All right, guys, let's go into prayer. Father God, Holy Spirit, ancestors, and guardian angels, thank you for rising me up out of my bed this morning, and thank you for connecting me with the collective every day. Right now, in particular, thank you for connecting me with the collective sign of Cancer. Please allow me to communicate clearly to them the messages that are in their greatest good, surrounding the messages in the greatest good, surrounding their material abundance, sustenance, the relationships closest to them, their personal ascension and development, and any other messages you deem worthy at this time. Thank you, Father God, Holy Spirit, ancestors, and guardian angels, for everything you do for me, the collective, all the healing energy, all the support, all the unconditional love and guidance. We're nothing without it, and we're nothing without you. So thank you, Father God, and amen. All right, my beautiful Cancers. I've been shuffling for some time now, okay? So I saw when I was pre-shuffling for you guys, I saw pure aces again, which is funny. I saw that a couple months ago for you guys. For some of you, it's a different wave. For some of you, it's a different phase in a new beginning you're in. You know, how new is a new beginning? It can feel new for a while, depending on what you're going through, right? But then, like I said, there's another group of you that are, there's these waves, right, of people, waves of energy, waves of change, waves of cycles, starting and completing, starting and completing, starting and completing. You decide. Lots of heavy decisions for Cancer. I am feeling that I did. Okay. But we're going to go into your 9-card spread and see where I'm going, alright? My beautiful Cancers. I feel good about the energy. I felt like I didn't feel any heavy energy going into this reading other than a little bit of communication, like articulate, like trying to figure out how I would say what I was hearing. Okay? But anyways, let's see. I just like to get a smooth shuffle, you know. This isn't smooth. This is how I feel about the communication with Cancer. The communication with Cancer, Temperance and the Chariot. So it's like some Cancers are needing to temper out some things so that they can communicate clearly. A course of action, a decision to move forward, you know, that kind of thing. I'm getting the energy that there is a group of Cancers that aren't feeling very confident about communicating how they want to proceed forward. Maybe you're not sure, and that's what the Temperance is about, taking time to temper yourself internally to be sure so that you can make sure external decisions, right? But I haven't even cut the deck yet, so it's just like I'm trying to figure out. Maybe that's where there's a bit of blockage, which is, it's fine, because I know there's quite a few Cancers that will struggle with communicating their feelings, right? So some Cancers, some of you Cancers might be coming off cold, and it's because maybe you're being triggered by some deep emotion, and because the emotions are so deep, you might be shutting down with regards to your communication. And from the outside perspective, the end user perspective could be aloof, non-engaged, not interested, withdrawn, these kind of things, when it's really you're shutting down because you're unclear of either what it is you're feeling or how to communicate what it is that you're feeling, because the depths of it are intense. For some of you, you are struggling about communicating why it isn't that why you aren't ready to take a leap of faith in something. You're struggling because every way you say it, it's like you don't mean it that way to yourself. So you're struggling. Some Cancers are struggling with that, but now I'm getting a better shuffle. I'm ready to cut. Justice, not that. Some of you are struggling to communicate some really tough emotions. These emotions are not like, they're acts of self-love. So you're having to communicate some injustices that you have witnessed, that you have been experiencing, tolerating, allowing, continuously witnessing, things like that, and having to muster the courage and strength to communicate exactly the disdain that you are feeling. That's why a lot of Cancers can come off very aggressive, because they will hold their emotions to the point of snapping. Okay, it's very foolish to emotionally abuse a Cancer. I mean, it's foolish to emotionally abuse anybody, but it's almost like a suicide mission, right? Because some people might emotionally abuse you back. A Cancer will not. They will snap. A lot of them will. Or they will withdraw to the point of it's so cold that you might even question your own existence, right? So it's a shutting down, really, of emotions, right? Because of either lack of surety, lack of clarity about how to communicate it. I saw the Hermit, lack of needing some of you are pulling into your shell, you're shutting down. Maybe some of you have people asking you questions, or someone's asking you questions that you don't have answers to now. So you are pulling back, shutting down. Some of you are reacting poorly, so you're becoming defensive and you're snapping because you're not actually communicating why you think it's inappropriate, why somebody's even asking you that, or why somebody doesn't understand. Cancerians, you have to understand, it is, everyone is intuitive as you. Everyone. But not everyone plays out that intuition to the forefront of their life, right? There is a need to have a balance, okay? And take accountability and responsibility for what it is internally that's happening to you, and be very mindful about how you're projecting it out, okay? I am seeing that. So if you are being hesitant about communicating a decision or expressing your feelings, I actually think it is good that you hold back. Because I'm a believer that if you aren't sure about something, you aren't sure about a decision in love, or about a heavy decision, okay, that will affect your loved ones, things like that. Wow, the Emperor. Then you're going to make decisions that you're going to end up having to look back at and try to establish, or regret, or, you know, try to figure out what prompted you to make this decision in the first place, or how. Do you get what I mean? So I'm always a believer, if you're not sure, then that is not the time to take the course of action. Now, life is, you know, fickle, and you might have to take action without the time necessary to evaluate everything, right? Six of Pentacles. This is needing to push back in order to get as much time, or as much of whatever it is you need, Cancer, to make a balanced decision. A fair decision for everyone involved, but most importantly yourself, Cancer, because sometimes you will overgive in order to prove worth, in order to keep people around, right? You will overgive. This is an end of that, and ensuring that it's equal reciprocity. And I'm seeing some of my Cancers, or a group of you, are struggling with communicating what it is you require in that equal reciprocity. We saw the justice, right? So it's like you're creating your own justice by shooting your truth, communicating your truth about what is balanced and what isn't. And it's even harder if you're having to communicate this with someone who's accustomed to you overgiving. Because now you have to condition them. You have to reprogram them from what you originally programmed them to think or feel about you. Anyway, let's get into it, okay? Overall energy. Thank you, Father God. The Ace of Swords, but guess what's underneath it? The Two of Swords. We saw this. It's the truth. Some of you are struggling with communicating it. Some of you know the truth about the lack of equal reciprocity in a relationship or in a work situation. And now it's just a matter of deciding what you're going to do with this truth. How are you going to allow this truth to change your circumstances? For a lot of people, once they know this truth, they can't go back. For others, they might brew with it. Others might deny it. It's hard to, though. That's even more hard, denying this once it does strike you. I mean, you have to be pretty narcissistic and ignorant to come across this truth and then completely ignore it. Can't say that. I really got to be easy with that, because this is a process for everyone. We really don't know what people have been through. Forget this lifetime, throughout the many lifetimes. People are born. Some people are born with heavy hearts. Anyway. Overall energy, Ace of Swords. I'm so curious to see what this is pertaining. But this is the sort of truth you walk into anything with. This is the sort of truth that you're now equipped with in your life, so that you can slay darkness, so that you can feel strong and equipped. And really what this sword is your truth and how you communicate it. And like I said, a lot of my Cancers are taking time and pulling in their shell in order to figure out and back up their truth, strong enough for them to communicate it. Maybe it's the first time you've ever communicated this truth to somebody, or openly, you know, or really, this could be brand new to you internally. So what we saw was to come the external struggle of you sharing this truth with people, even though it might very well change the dynamics of many relationships that you've been codependently attached to, that this sword literally chopped those chains off. And now you got to stand there with your sword and your truth. And some people are upset about that chain chopping ceremony. Some of my cancers have been going on for months, if not years, right? And not worrying about the consequences of that, because you are going to die by your truth, aren't you? Without being all dramatic, right? But really, what are we if we don't have our truth? If words not bond, then what are we? We're walking illusions is what we are. You're going backward, not forward. So I see a lot of cancers plunging forward with their sword of truth. Where to? Let's see. This sword of truth that you've now equipped yourself through all your trials and tribulations is going to protect exactly this. You needed to be equipped with this truth in order to not just acquire it, but maintain it, protect it. 10 of Cups, beautiful energy starting off your spread, guys. Okay, second card out, the Moon. Full cycle, full circle. This is a new phase, a new moon phase, because as you can see in the picture, it's full. You're going into a new phase of your life that I think you're elated to go in. For some of you, you're going into this new phase not alone. Some of you are coming out of sacred space, which is what you like to refer to as loneliness. It's sacred space to heal. And you're coming out of it, but you're going into a new cycle with people. Soul tribe that you found at the end of the cycle that were looking at their own cycle. Because when you get to the end of these karmic cycles, before you hop on the other one, this is where a lot of people get fucked up. Where I've been fucked up. We get to the end of this cycle, and before God lets us hop on the other one, he turns us around and makes us look at the whole thing go round and round. It's almost like your life flashing before your eyes. It's that phase flashing before your eyes. And many people will hop back on because of something they see when it's replaying. Only to be like, am I on that cycle again? Yeah, you are, because you saw something and it tempted you. Or it, you challenged something you need not challenge. It baited you. You got baited back. The devil knows that you have to watch that whole cycle before you go on the new one, like your life flashes before your very eyes. You get to see what has happened, how you've developed and grown, everything in that cycle. And when you start in the 5D, when that starts to happen, that's a huge indication that you are at the end of a karmic cycle. Do not push it out thinking, why am I still thinking about this shit? Because if you push it out, the universe is going to play it more for you and you're going to go mad. Let the shit play. It's like, the DJ going, tick, 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 tick. Yeah, that's cool for 2 seconds, but imagine he were to spend 3 minutes going, tick, 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 tick. He'd get a bottle. It wouldn't be good. So, but when you resist it, that's exactly what's happening. You're scratching over and over and over. Do not resist it, because the universe is trying to tell you something. It's trying to let this record play. You hear the masterpiece, which is your song, and you move on to create a new track, right? That'll be fun. But before you go to lay the new track down, the track you just created, you need to listen to it once it's been mastered. Because everything you learned creating that body of work is going to prepare you to create in the new piece of art, which I personally think you will enjoy creating a lot more. Okay, really, really good energy. Third card out, Ace of Pentacles, 10 Ace. You're ending this cycle. If you don't feel amazing, you're not there yet. I'm sorry. You're going to feel good when it's over. I'm not saying you're jumping up and down and you're like, there is a lightness, a euphoria to breaking out of that thick bush, which has been this karmic cycle, and you've now reached a clearing, this open space. That's why you should feel good going into the next cycle, because you will reach thick bush in the new one again. Remember, this is a seed. It plants, it grows into something. But it's just fantastic. For a lot of you, you went on this road, this emotional roller coaster where everything was about how you felt, okay, what was emotionally fulfilling to you, and this codependency because of what you lacked with regards to love and emotional fulfillment in you. And you gain all this knowledge and understanding only to now embark on this beautiful journey to legacy. Like I'm saying, there's this ending, this fullness of understanding that brings this light, this clarity about what it is you've been through, Cancer. Being able to now move on. This is to me like the light in the sun. It's like the moon went down and then the next day it was light and she's now back on the fucking, mission, back on the ship, but it's in a different space. Anyway, let's keep going. Fourth card out, 9 of Wands, under the 10 of Cups, sheer determination. In the middle of the spread, the 4 of Cups, you see? And then the Death. Yeah, this is what I'm saying, man. It's like some of you Cancers are going to drag the past by any means necessary. Why? Because you think you're happy, but you haven't even done the eight of Cups yet, which is that walking away and letting go of the emotional baggage of what you thought was, okay, or could be, or your immature ideals surrounding love and affection and emotions and all this shit. Like, it's like you understand certain things, but then this new shit comes in and some of you are literally going to go, wait, hold on, I forgot something, and go and grab that shit back, because some of you might get triggered with this 9 of Wands. Some of you might get triggered. Be careful about that. Like, that's kind of disappointing, Cancer. Like, that's why it's like you really need to not rush the healing process, really work on that self-love and that fulfillment, emotional fulfillment within self. Because if you play yourself into thinking that, oh, I found this in myself, and you really haven't dealt with the codependencies, whatever you thought you let go, you're going to recreate and remanifest, and it's going to be the exact same shit you came from. Or it will be brand new and it will be of a higher vibration, but you will bring through your insecurities and your lack of self-love, past behaviors and karma into something that I should be new. Like, I wouldn't understand. Like, this is just, I don't understand where we went with this here, Father God. Where... For a group of you that already had these come in, some of you have already established, some Cancers are at a point where they are, this is a totally other group of you. There's a group of you, though, that is completely feral over the happiness that you have acquired. So it's like you realize, no, this is what I've been working for, tempering myself out. And it's like now you are not fucking around with that. Like, you're telling your pack, like, you fall back, I got this. Like, you're like, huh? Like, you're on, like, what? You said, oh, like, I get that energy a little bit for Cancer. Just be careful that you aren't, actually being feral, like, you know what I mean, and unapproachable and not nurturing and kind of scurry, you know. But yeah, for others of you with this, for some of you, you had or have something coming in to you, this Ace of Pentacles, and you're actually quite afraid of, you know, how fulfilling it could be. You're actually just quite afraid of how impactful it will be to your actual day-to-day practical life. And what I see here is, for some of my Cancers, you're actually ignoring and avoiding that of which you think is that of which you are afraid. This new beginning, this person, this dynamic, whatever this is going to change in you. If that makes any sense. It's like, I really want this, but I know this is going to change me, or I'm going to have to do this, or I'm going to have to do this. And what's funny is, it's something I think you ignored in the past, but the universe had a funny way of bringing it back to you, didn't it? With this brand new beginning, you know? There was a part of you that needed to transform, Cancer, that you were ignoring. And if anybody brought it to you, you'd actually get quite defensive. And then it's almost like the universe knows the way to a Cancer through Cancer's shell is through the underbelly, the heart, right? You got to get it. If you want to get it, you got to get it in the heart, soft spot. And that's your heart, your love. So this pentacle is actually bringing you emotional fulfillment. This is going to bring to light something about you, Cancer, that you already know needs to change, but I think it's something you've gone by without really having to address. It's something that makes you come off defensive. So that might be inner child work. It's something that you can get defensive about when family members or people close to you bring it up. Why? Because they're triggering fears and anxiety and stuff, because it's something you've suppressed, and if it wasn't for them, it would have stayed there. And the universe knows that. So it looks like you're getting something that's non-related to the people who have been telling you this, or, you know, they don't know this about you. Like, for some of you, if it's a new person coming in your life, they don't know this transformation in you that needs to occur, that you're now being triggered by or being made aware or something. For some of you, this energy coming in, even if it's an employer, they don't know. They have no fucking clue. They just know what you presented at the interview. You know, they don't actually know that you're going back now and saying, holy shit, like, this really went well. If I get this job, I'll be happy as fuck, but this will really impact my life now. You know, some of you might be working like 60-hour weeks, traveling 3 times a month. Like, this is going to impact you. And now, you know, you're a bit worried. That's on career side. Like, now you're kind of wondering, some of you actually might be getting a little bit defensive at home. So people might not understand that and think, well, why aren't you happy, Cancer? Like, you know, all this great stuff. The interview went well. You're probably going to get this job. Like, you know, this is great. We're going to do this. And you're like, you don't understand. Some of you are responding that way because you think the people around you don't understand the amount of change that's going to occur. But Cancer, a lot of Cancers aren't good with change. So know that the people around you might be more happy because they're not so afraid of the change that they, like, it's not that they don't see it or understand, it's just that they're not so afraid of the transformation as you are. So Cancer, it's important not to get into that mindset of woe is me and nobody understands me in my shell and da-da-da-da-da. Okay, because that's not true. It's just that people feel differently about it or are as burdened or whatever. I think you guys understand what I'm saying, okay? Now, the 7th card out is the 9 of Pentacles under the 9 of Wands. So yeah, I'm getting the feeling of a lot of change happening, whether it's good or not. But I feel like in a family dynamic or in a relationship, Cancer is feeling alone. Like, the pressures of the changes that are coming in are only for you to handle, almost like you think the people around you want you to fail. That's why they're not helping you. Some of the people around you don't know that you need help. Some of the people around you don't see a problem. Some of the people around you, like, I'm getting the impression, Cancer, it's you feeling like you against the world. This is something, the last bit of pus that needs to purge out of this. Like, this is this defensive, feral, fear-based way of approaching new beginnings, approaching your change. Because a lot of people thrive. A lot of people love and get off on the death energy. They're creating death energy as much as they can. They become addicted to it, meaning they love that feeling of change and metamorphosis. So they move a lot, or they color their hair a lot, or they change the way they dress a lot, or they change their surroundings, or they're constantly going on, retreats or meditating on ways to break down their ego in order for their inner selves to live. A lot of people thrive off this. Some people can't stand it. So you have to decide, Cancer, where do you fall in line with that? How does change and transformation feel to you? How do you process it? And try to imagine what the outside perspective is for people when you're handling this energy. How are you treating them? Are you communicating to people that you need support right now, or are you just assuming that they should come and help you? Meanwhile, they think they see you so strong, stronger than you see yourself, because a lot of you lack that self-love and think you've got it. Meanwhile, you're sitting there going, well, I'm all alone and no one's helping me. Well, it's like, first of all, you need to communicate if there is help that you want. Okay? But a lot of you don't even need help. You just want the feeling of support. You don't really need help doing what it is you're doing. You just want to feel supported. Some of you are feeling like you're bearing the burden of for some of you, there's been a passing. I don't like talking about this stuff, but I just did a whole video talking about death and things like that, and burial and cremation and what you guys think of all that. Another downloads of a light worker. But for some of you, I'm watching a complete inheritance war. It's like somebody passes away and now everyone is acting like feral dogs trying to yam up all of whatever fortune is there. Because it's like this came with this. For the vast majority of you, though, it's going to be a new opportunity that transforms and changes your life, and you are afraid of the change. And now you're battling the happiness and the fear. And you shouldn't even be battling the fear. So in order to not battle the fear, focus on what it is, let it boil up, let it temper up, and debunk it in your brain so that it's no longer a fear. It doesn't even make sense. Fears are lies. They really are. Fears are lies. Because if you actually processed your fears instead of trying to suppress them and pretend they weren't there, you'd realize it was some dark energy lying to you and then laughing at your ass. These dark energies tell you these lies hoping that you inherit them and live them out in your reality. And a lot of you do. So it's important that you look at that energy that stops you, that debilitates you, that hurts you, and debunk it. Because when you do look at it and you ask for the facts, this darkness never has facts. These fears never have facts to back them up. Because if you were being cautious, then there would be facts to back up your caution. So reasons why you need to be cautious. But with fear, there's no reason. It's all an illusion. So for some of you, you got to be careful about bringing that past back with you into this new phase that I see you're going in. Some of you need to be very careful about hopping back on the karmic wheel when God gives you one last glance, when your life flashes before your very eyes, or this part of your life flashes before your very eyes and you get to see. Don't hop back on it. Just stand beside God, holds his hand. Watch it. Be proud of it. Get the final picture and allow God and your angels to turn you around and gracefully guide you onto your new beginning, your new cycle. And that's why you should feel this way when you embark. when you are ready to go into a new cycle, because you sat there with God and watched it go around and felt proud and looked at him and say, okay, I get it, I understand, and I remember the agreement, and you move on and you let him turn you around to a new, right? Hope this is making sense, guys. Okay. Next card out, you've got the Queen of Swords. This is Gemini, Libra, Aquarius energy. Some of you are just feeling, some of you are dealing with a family member, could be male or female, just a very hard person to deal with, come to agreements with, express emotions to, definitely embark on any new beginning with. So I'm not sure what the relevance of this person is. This person might be part of the reason why you're feeling so defensive or alone. For some of you, there's people in your own family trying to deny or compete with your own transformation, metamorphosis, and that's what's making you feel alone. So instead of getting the encouragement about the change, because you're already having fears of it, you're almost getting the sense that people are like, questioning you, or competing. Like it's not good energy with this. So then you feel alone in your transformation, and you are, right? Because when these people have to transform, they're alone in it too. You're not going to be hand holding them, So it's like, yes, you should feel alone. But I talk about loneliness in a couple of the other readings about being sacred time. And the reason why loneliness feels so painful is, one, because you actually think that this is happening to you instead of for you. And most of the reasons why we delay these beautiful new beginnings is because that sacred healing time that the divine carved out and created for us, we keep messing with by grabbing dark energy in because we're bored, or we're codependent, or we're looking at loneliness wrong, and we're now feeling tired of the loneliness, so we're being codependent. You get what I'm saying? Only for the divine to then have to reconstruct that whole force field for you. Right? So look at your loneliness as a coveted time to do what it is you need to do in fucking peace, without other people meddling in your shit and in your ear and, spewing their own fucking toxicity while you're trying to clean up. They're pissing all over the place. And God's trying to keep you into this, sterile environment, and you keep bringing sully shit in there. Right? So, I do see, though, for some of you, you have been ignoring an energy. You're reaching a point in a transformation where there is a very overbearing person in your life who has not allowed you. They're cold, so they don't relate to their emotions the way you do. So it's really hard for you to connect with them. But there's somebody very close to your life. This could be Ken, it could be anybody, right? And you're having to look at this. And what you're cutting off is the negative attachment. Whether you actually disassociate yourself with this person or not, I don't know. But you are absolutely, because the only reason why she's sitting down is because she's either just about to get up and cut the shit out of something, or because she just did and she's tired now because she's wearing 200 pounds worth of clothes, and that sword is about $170. Okay. You know what I mean? Women are strong as fuck. I'd be working out and feeling strong, but you guys think I'm not even really working out. Like, if you see what my workouts are, they're ghetto as shit. Love my life. Anyway, so yeah, and the Magician, yeah, cutting off something because you know that there is somebody who is stopping you. Oh, for some of you, before you can manifest something, you have to cut somebody off who wouldn't approve of it, who would cock block it, who would try to, there's this energy of somebody, talking about the old version of you in order to try to taint the new version of you. So I'm assuming this is like a karmic person in your life, regardless of the nature of the relationship. Because it could be a friend, it could be a lover, it could be a family member, it could be anybody. Because this is very, very general for Cancer, because I believe that you are going through a huge shift. So this energy and this change, it's touching everything. And because some of you don't do the greatest with change, you're a bit defensive and you're feeling a little bit of the me against the world type thing. All right. The truth, though, I see this sword in the Queen of Swords, the swords in the Death card. The truth about what you know you have to release in order to transform into what it is you want, or to allow something that is trying to change your life to actually do that. So for some of you, it's a partner. You know, you might have had somebody propose to you, your partner propose to you, right? And you're really happy. The problem is you feel alone because you can't share it with anybody, because you know no one's going to approve, or they're going to be nasty about it. So they're not really supporting your transformation in your life, right? And you have to make a decision to stand behind your truth and shoot your truth, right? So kind of like that's the energy I'm seeing. But let's go into clarification. We're already 40 minutes in, Cancer. Shite. Can't be doing these hour readings much anymore. It's too exhausting. If you burn your finger and you put it on your ear, it absorbs all the heat. It's a little FYI. Because my fingers were bad. I thought when I washed all the charcoal and frankincense off, my fingers would be seared, and they weren't. I don't think it's because I was putting it on my ear. I think it was because there was like such a hard layer of frankincense on my finger that like the charcoal wasn't even burning it, because like when it gets hot, it gets really sticky, right? Okay, let's carry it on here. Thank you, Father God, Holy Spirit, ancestors, and guardian angels for this beautiful spread for my beautiful Cancers. Can you please clarify it with this beautiful oracle deck from Nevena, her Infinitum Tarot. Links below for this one, guys. The Ponder. Yep. You already know what your truth is, but you're pondering. And then the Judgment, the final decision, and the Empress. Yeah, a lot of you are deciding to embark in a relationship you know your family's not going to approve of. Some of you are pregnant and can't tell your family because you're not going to get the support, or you did and you're not getting the support, and now you have to make a decision of, are these people really going to be involved in my new life? Like, am I really going to not get married or not proceed with this person, or not be happy about my new beginning because I have people around me that are so stuck in their old ways that they can't see what I'm trying to do or build, or because it's a little bit different than the people around you are accustomed in their own life. They're not, like, it's that, and you're having to ponder all of this. And I'm sorry, Cancer, that you're not getting that, but you're not meant to. Because this codependency of needing people to co-sign the decisions that you make, and your happiness, and proving your worth and all this shit to people, it has to stop. So that's really what you should be pondering, is why this is even an issue. Why this isn't, this change is so hard or painful, or why it's been something you have been resisting and ignoring, or being defensive about, or pushing away for this long. It's almost like the universe is forcing you to take this time to ponder over something, and it looks like something that will heavily impact and change your life. Okay. And then underneath you have the Choice, and it's in reverse. I don't believe this has been made yet. For most of you, this hasn't been made, which means then that either this transformation hasn't occurred, or this transformation has occurred and you're dealing with the carnage of the poor, low frequency, the more poor-minded but low frequency. Because in a way, you have to be gentle with them. They don't know better. For some of these people, they're not haters. They really just don't understand what it is you're doing. They really believe in their own infrastructure, their own ways, and they really are living out their lies to you. They have suppressed their higher self to a point where it's like, if an institution doesn't tell them, then it's not facts, or it can't exist. So either way, it's like, you know, I want you guys to feel happy about the new beginnings, the change that's coming in your life, and not allow for people who don't create change, positive change in their life, to affect you from making positive change and forging out positive change in your life for yourself. It's not fair. it's not, doesn't mean that you can't take advice, but it's like, I understand why you're feeling alone right now, and I think you're supposed to, because I think you're supposed to turn this wheel, hop on this new cycle, and allow for this change to happen on your own. Forgiving and learning. You need to forgive these people. For a lot of them don't know what they do. And then the deception on the bottom. A lot of them don't even know what they're doing. They don't know why they do the shit they do. They're fucking confused. They're lost. And Cancer, all you should care about is not being confused and lost with them. Okay, and taking the time you need to ponder, think. Like, she's watching water. Like, this chick is a Cancer. Like, in this picture, she must be. Okay, that's what Cancers do. They go by bodies of water, chill, with a coffee or a smoke or, a little blanket and some snacks, and just go live by water and think, whatever. Some of you are pondering a relationship and giving it a chance because there's a lot of passion there, but for some of you, it won't be accepted by friends or family. For you, there's something about you that's not accepting this. That doesn't have to do with friends and family. There's just something that you're struggling with. You want to give something a chance, but there's something in you you're not letting transform, or you would have to let transform in order to really give this a chance. But there's passion here and love, and this passion and love is actually what's triggering this transformation to occur. Like I said, for some of you, this has been something you have been suppressing, and it could be this love and passion that is actually forcing you to have to make changes that you have been neglecting. Could be around your belief systems, how you live, what you do, whatever, right? And then let's go into the oracles and wrap up your spread. Okay, my beautiful Cancers, I hope you love this reading. I love you guys. Please like, share, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts, okay? If this resonates, if it doesn't, what are the energies that you're feeling? I'm not claiming I'm speaking for the entire fucking collective of human beings here, but I'm speaking to a collective. So if you were drawn to the channel, I would like to just know, if it doesn't resonate, then what you are feeling and why you might have been drawn to the shit. Anyway, thank you, Father God, Holy Spirit, ancestors, and guardian angels. Can I please get clarification? Will you please wrap up this beautiful spread for my Cancers with an Aboriginal? Sorry if I was saying Native Indian. Somebody correct me and G-check me about that. Ceremonial rites, absolutely amazing. Quiet stillness. Ponder. Some of you need to take this time. Some of you are asking too many people for their opinions about something that is way too deep in nature for you to expect people to know the answer to. So this stillness and quiet time is something that if you're pushing and avoiding, then you're going to really feel alone if you keep trying to get people to co-sign and they're not, because they don't understand, and then you feel like nobody understands you when really you shouldn't have been looking for that exterior acceptance to begin with. You were supposed to take this quiet time to find it in yourself so that you could be more sure, because you've got decisions to make with judgment, death, the Ace of Pentacles, because just because it's offered to you doesn't mean it's received, right? So it's like and the Magician. Magician has a lot of things to do because he's manifesting, he or she is manifesting, right? So this pondering time is screaming out to me for Cancers needing to do that. Now, ceremonial rites, we'll read that one out of the book. Okay. This girl is born and nurtured by the woman of the mob. As she grew from a baby to a young girl and into a young woman, the mothers teach her of her responsibilities to contribute to the running of the clan. As she grows, she understands the importance of the wisdom passed down to her from the mothers. She knows that to become a woman, she must first be initiated. When the right time comes, she is fused over and dressed and led to the Bora ring to become initiated as a woman. During her ceremony, she gives up her rights as a child and completes her ceremony as a woman. She will continue to learn the dreaming and dream time of the mob, but it is now her responsibility to pass on this wisdom and the stories to the other young children of the mob. Dreamtime message. Sometimes it's hard to find the patience to get where you want to go or get what you need. We often blame time as the enemy because it's taking too long. Yet time is the very reason we get to where we are going. Everything happens when the timing is right, and to force it before then would often end with undesirable outcomes. Just wait a little longer, you're almost there, but there is just a bit more information you need to complete the learning of the experience. The last little bit of information you need is when you allow God to take your hand and you watch that karmic cycle flash before your eyes. And you don't hop back on it, okay? You don't try to pine for it. You don't freak out. You allow it to play, and when you get to the end of it, you look up at God and say, thank you, I understand. And he goes, you sure? Say, yeah. And he turns you around to the brand new cycle. A lot of my cancers have successfully completed their ceremonial rites. Congratulations. I love each and every single one of you wholeheartedly. Okay? Please continue to let your inner angels live. All right? And until the next time I see you, take care. Ciao.